If you're enjoying our free KY movie channel, you might be interested to know that as from next week, you won't be able to see it. Unless you buy a special KY decoder, and you can buy one of those for only £459.99 plus VAT. And then you can watch it absolutely free. BBC Two viewers now leave us for their own reasons. While on KYTV, we're giving away £5,000 to the first 10 viewers who ring this number. 07... Typing error. It should have read, tonight's news will not be until 25 to 11, and not as was announced, tonight's news with motbo until 24 da lilifexpo. And now we welcome BBC viewers for our special Green Green programme, in which we'll be looking at some of the ways man is polluting his environment. Brought to you by KYTV in association with Exxon, the oil you can spread on your field.
Will our children have a future?
Will our children's children have a future?
And will our children's children's children have children? Anna.
Yes, today we'll be tackling some of the tough environmental issues and asking, aren't those little fluffy seals gorgeous? And with us now in the studio is Cynthia Harmer, head of the Whole Earth.
The Whole Earth Organisation.
Is it?
Yes, it is. And it isn't just the popular environmental issues which make good television pictures which we're concerned with. It's also the less glamorous ones of slow erosion and unseen pollutants.
Absolutely. But if we could turn away from that and back to those little fluffy seals...
Look, I think you're missing the point. We've all got to do something about the environment now.
And I've been doing my bit by launching my own brand of environmentally friendly coconut oil depilatory cream. A fabulous bargain at only £2.59 a tube. Available on Sofa Shop, our comfy dial-a-deal home shopping channel. Mike.
Save a squeeze in the bottom for me. Also with us in the studio is Sir Anthony Trollope, the former Junior Minister for Health. Sir Anthony...
Look, it isn't politicians that matter, it's the environment around us.
Well, if you're so keen on the environment around you, why don't you have a bath more often?
Stop! Stop! We're gonna stop harming our planet!
Hello, yes. And, welcome to my Martin Brown's Consumer Advice box. And don't worry, I'm not going to start giving you hints on how to consume advice. No. So now, let's look at one or two watchwords when it comes to healthy drinking, or safe sucks, as I call it. But seriously, however, number one watchword is preservatives. Always check on the side of a bottle or can to see if there are any preservatives. Like this one, you see, it says no added preservatives. So it could very easily have gone off, so you throw that away. Number two, monogludium sotomate. Yes, always check any produce you buy to see if it has any monogludio sotomate, because this can make you seriously 111. It can make you seriously ill. It can also be harmful to small children and 3 chickens. Oh, because this can also be harmful to small children. And 3, chickens can be dangerous if they're not properly cooked. And so before eating them, make sure that they're dead. Otherwise you might get bits of feathers and things flapping about in your mouth, you see. I mean, trying to eat a live chicken with the blood...
Yes, thank you, Martin. I'm sure that's given our viewers 1 or 2 useful environmental hints, like stuffing you down the nearest bottle bank.
Well, with us now is one of the leading figures in the Green Party, David Ark, who I'm sure is best known to KYTV viewers as our chief sports reporter here now. David, what does the Green Party stand for?
Well, we believe we have to think about the long-term future of the planet, about what our children are going to inherit, and Tottenham have just scored, I've heard, Lineker from a penalty, apparently.
Cynthia, what exactly do you want done?
Well, we want to see everybody act.
Come on now, I mean, not everybody, surely. I mean, we don't really want to see Sting act again, do we? So, Sir Anthony, what have you in the government done?
Well, the government's track record on this is absolutely appalling. Polluting beaches, dumping nuclear waste in the Irish Sea, cutting funds in vital scientific I'm sorry, I appear to be arguing for the wrong side. It's my old school debating society training coming in, I'm afraid.
On Mars, we are a little different to you. Since we use telepathy, we have no need of a sense of hearing, nor do we need a sense of sight. But some things are similar. For instance, on Mars, we also drink Guinness. Why is that? Because we have no sense of taste, either.
Cynthia, welcome. Let's talk about these problems in South America.
Well, it largely revolves around protecting these rainforests. Of course, when I say rainforests, I don't mean that it does actually rain forests.
That's most of my questions gone out of the window, then. So trees don't actually land on your head, then?
No, that's not what I'm saying. The whole atmosphere is warming up and becoming an enormous greenhouse, and you know what that means.
Yes, bigger tomatoes.
The world is getting hotter and hotter, and how are we going to cope with that?
Lollies.
Lollies. Look, the ice caps are melting.
Well, chalk ice is there.
Lollies, chalk ices, and bigger tomatoes.
Well, a warning for us all there, I think.
Our world is getting warmer, and the hottest pictures are on KYTV.
Well, with us now is someone who is here to talk about global warming.
Yes, thank you. Well, we at Global Warming feel that we offer one of the best central heating systems anywhere in the country.
Right.
We guarantee installation and...
Yes, thank you. Perhaps we could talk to someone else. Sir Anthony, meteorologically speaking, are we not seeing a coming together of the seasons, as it were?
Yes, very possibly, and in the event of this, the government has plans to merge the 4 seasons into 2, to be simply called Santa and Sprautum. And by the turn of the century, just 1, the season of Sun Sprautumter.
Well, that certainly trips off the tongue.
Yes.
And lands flat on its face. Talking of which, it's time for episode 3 of Olé, our very own Brazilian soap opera, translated and dubbed by KYTV.
Dorothy.
Reginald.
Bertrand.
Reggie. Pardon my interruption, but does anyone mind if I put the radio on? Damn pop music. I'll make some tea, what? Dorothy. Do you take sugar?
2, if you would.
And Reggie, it's milk and 2 sugars, yes?
If you would, Bertie.
I'll go.
Good day. What a delightful morning it is today.
I can tell you're not from around here.
That's right.
Where are you from?
Bolivia. Oh, I won't disturb you. I can see you've got a couple of people in your bed. Ciao.
Anything for me, Bertie?
It's from Trevor.
Shot himself?
What does it say?
He shot himself.
Shot himself?
Oh, bad show.
Yes, what rotten luck.
Of course, in many respects, I regard myself as largely to blame for this.
Don't worry, Bertie. I tell you what.
What?
I'll make the tea.
Bless you.
Well, with me now is a director of Burrocks, the well-known building firm, here to talk about the erosion of the countryside. What are you doing?
Nothing.
No. What are you doing about the erosion of our countryside?
Well, at Barrett's, we're doing our bit to ensure that there are not too many new housing developments.
How's that?
Well, our houses don't start for very long.
We must stop building on the green belt.
And I suppose you'd rather we demolished hospitals and built on them, would you?
That's not a fair and logical comparison.
Well, I'm not a fair and logical man, I'm a builder.
But it's true to say, is it not, that we live in a society where many things are made of low-quality materials and designed to be almost disposable?
That is a slur on the building industry.
Let's now turn back to the destruction of the rainforests and look at the recording that's just been made of a special KYTV Rock for Trees record in aid of the Brazilian rainforests.
I'm here because I think it's important that we all do something to protect the environment. Keep the engine running, John, only be a couple of hours, all right?
There's been a global bungle. Cause what they're doing over there.
Burning a hole in that ozone layer.
Oh, over there in the Amazon, they got floods and droughts and famines.
Yeah, the worst thing is the waste. I mean, the waste is enormous. Get me one with a smaller waist and bigger tits, all right?
It's true. The world is all around us. And it's true. It's very, very big.
Oh, no one can deny that it spins round in a circle.
And bacon comes from a pig.
You know, and I think it's important that we send these Indians the essential things in life, like brandy, handmade boots, that's very important.
Yeah.
Room service, couldn't do without room service.
Drugs.
No, don't be stupid, man. We shouldn't be sending them drugs.
No, not drugs.
Drugs. No. They grow the bloody stuff there, for Christ's sake.
This could be the end of civilization as we know it.
I'm in your hands. I'll sing anything you like.
Okay, there you go.
Parrots. Yeah. Well, one word, parrots.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's singing the rest of the line?
Well, we've got these Indians in the rainforest, they'll be doing that.
Well, how come these Indians have got two words? I've only got one. Parrots.
Well, they live in the rainforest.
Yeah, they live in the rain. Yeah, they live in the rainforest, exactly. So who's ever heard of them?
Is better than mine.
Thank God for food, thank God for veg, thank God for peas and carrots.
Thank God for fish, thank God for birds, for cockatoos and
Parrots.
So at the end of the day, you know, this is what it's all about.
Scotch, anyone? Oh,
Thing is for sure. Carbon tetrafluoride, yeah. It's better than monosodium glutamate.
Yeah, I'm just delighted we've done something to stop our trees being destroyed. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell.
the Green Show.
And remember, it's a very worthy cause. Every copy you buy of this record goes some little way towards knocking New Kids on the Block off the #1 spot.
Excuse me, sir. I was wondering if I could ask your opinion on environmental issues.
No, I'd round them all up and put them in a cage, quite frankly.
Environmental issues.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard. I thought you said football hooligans.
No, environmental issues.
Yes, well, very important in my opinion.
And what would be top of your list of priorities?
Withdrawal of passport, national service for all offenders and enforced castration. It may seem harsh, but it's the only language...
Are you still talking about football hooligans?
Yes?
No, it's really environmental issues that I was wanting your opinion on.
Oh, well, drinking water I think is important.
Ah, you think the standard of it is particularly low in this country, do you?
Low? I'd shoot them all through the temples.
David, you were just about to tell us your fascinating theory about the environment.
That's right, Anna, and there's a steward's inquiry at Newmarket, evidently. Well, it's what I call my take, make, and throw away theory, Anna, by which I mean if I take a clump of earth and then make something out of the resources in it and then throw the rest away, and then if I keep on doing that, what will happen eventually?
You have a small pile of earth by your right foot.
There's more to it than that.
All right, you have a big pile of earth. It's the same principle.
But you're not taking my point. We in the Green Party believe we have to start recycling resources.
Well, maybe we can take some questions on that topic from our studio audience. Yes, you, madam, yeah.
What would the Green Party do about rubbish?
Well, we would seek to recycle as much of it as possible.
Recycle?
Is that not a reasonable solution?
I don't want it recycled. I want them to take it away without leaving a trail up my drive.
This was a domestic problem, was it?
It still is.
Yes, well, I'm not sure the Green Party can pledge to have dustmen collect your rubbish any more tidily, but...
Why not?
Well, it's just a local issue. I mean, we can't get involved in it.
Have you ever fought in a war?
No.
Well, how do you know what you're talking about, then?
Yes, thank you very much. David?
Yes?
Tottenham now 2 up, apparently.
About the future and how you want the world to be. There's a better future for you and your family if you subscribe to KYTV. KYTV.
Welcome back to our green mass debate. Well, of course, many of the rural parts of southeast England are under threat of devastation from the roots of the Channel Tunnel, or Chunnel as it's known. Currently proposed by British Rail, or Braille, and sanctioned by the current government, or current government. Sir Anthony, you for once are not in agreement with the government's plans.
Well, as chairman of the Sussex and Kent No Channel Tunnel anywhere near my country mansion, thank you very much, association, I have to say that I'm not necessarily opposed to the rail link itself, but to the routes proposed by the government, and I have therefore suggested an alternative route, which I think has 2 major advantages. As you can see, it involves rerouting the Channel Tunnel slightly so that it emerges not in Dover, but in Glasgow. Then the rail link would work its way down through Liverpool, the Black Country, through the middle of Birmingham, and then into London via the East End to Fenchurch Street.
And what is the first major advantage?
Well, as you can see, it manages to completely avoid all areas of naturally beautiful middle-class country homes, and instead ploughs through deprived, poverty-stricken inner-city areas where lots of poor people live.
And what is the second advantage?
Well, it doesn't involve any change in government policy.
If you have a small child and live near a motorway, don't let him sit out on it. Putting small children in the fast lane of a motorway is dangerous. Don't do it.
That was a blindingly obvious public information film.
Water, water, is it what it oughta be?
Sir Anthony, how do you stand on water?
I've no idea. I'm not Jesus, you know. However, surveys have shown time and time again that people want raw sewage pumped straight into the sea at all our major holiday resorts.
Well, I'm sorry, Minister. I find that very hard to believe.
We ask people a simple question. Do you want raw sewage pumped straight into the sea, or would you prefer to have a controlled nuclear experiment take place in your kitchen? And the vast majority plumped for the frothy green sandcastles option.
Yes, very convincing, Minister.
Yes, very convincing, Minister.
No, I'm sorry, I really can't believe that.
David?
Lineker's just been sent off.
I think we've all got to take personal responsibility for our water. Take this water, for example.
Yes, that's my water, thank you.
Well, it isn't any specific individual's water. Now,
It's my bloody water, I was drinking it.
All right, I'm only using it to illustrate a point. Now, if we were to take this water and pour a little bit
Yes, you get a thump in the face.
All right, I'll use my glass.
Good. Bloody communist.
Now, if I were to take the water in this glass and throw it over Sir Anthony, you see?
Oh, I see, yes. That's what you do.
It's young by men, yo, human tense. So chill out, homeboys, hang off the fence. Say 5 take now, cause you know it makes sense.
Well, not to me, it doesn't. Hi.
This is the sea. Pretty bloody obvious, I would have thought, but the producer did insist that I make it quite clear. Environmentalists claim that because of an outlet pipe that leads directly into the sea, this beach has an unacceptably high level of pollution. Well, let me tell you that I've been swimming about for the past few minutes, and there is no evidence whatsoever of any domestic sewage.
Well, Mike, I'm shocked by the terrible state that these birds get into through oil pollution. Look at this poor creature here.
It's a seaweed, isn't it?
They use them as firelighters. They're rather good at that. Look at that. Splendid.
Minister, what about these alternative energy sources?
Well, there are considerable drawbacks. Windmills, for instance, are obviously both smelly and dangerous.
More dangerous than nuclear power stations?
Well, I mean, these windmills are never going to work anyway. I mean, it simply isn't practical to harness the wind.
If we harness your wind, we could power a factory for a fortnight.
Well, I'm sure you'll agree that during the course of this programme, KYTV has helped solve many of the problems of the environment. And so we've compiled this specially devised Green Master Quiz, kindly sponsored by Exxon, the company that cares. And that's certainly the sort of money, the sort of attitude that we appreciate here at KYTV. So, let's get on with the quiz and let's meet our two contestants who are...
Gillian.
From...
Dartmouth.
And...
David.
From...
Bristol.
Great, so there you are. The prize still unwon after 17 weeks, this lovely chateau in the Loire. So, one correct answer and the chateau is yours. OK, you ready? Lots to play for. OK, here we go. Question 1. Which is the poorest third world country, Vietnam or Thailand?
Vietnam.
No, neither. Burma is in fact poorer than both of them. In which Mediterranean country have 20,000 square miles of rainforest been destroyed?
Brazil.
Yes, but unfortunately Brazil isn't a Mediterranean country. Question 3 is a trick question. True or false?
True.
No, false. It's a perfectly ordinary question, in fact. Question 4. Which magazine gives you a monthly update on green issues?
Friends of the Earth Weekly.
No, the answer is false. Which magazine is a consumer magazine comparing different brands of the same product, in fact. What does a car need to have fitted to enable it to use unleaded petrol?
A catalytic converter.
No, a petrol tank was the answer I was looking for. What is orgasmic farming?
No
idea.
No, it is in fact a misreading of the word organic. What sort of root vegetable...
What sort of root vegetable what?
Not allowed to help you on this one, I'm afraid. No, turnip was the one I was looking for.
No, how was I supposed to know that?
Well, I'm afraid I can't help you. I told you that before. Question 8. Ready?
Yes.
Yes.
No, ready is the answer to question 9. And question 10. When was the first Green Party MP elected to the European Parliament?
I don't know, 1974.
More precisely?
Oh, August?
More precisely?
The 14th.
More precisely?
10:30.
More precisely?
10:30 and 35 seconds.
I just can't give it to you, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, when was it?
June 1986. So there we go, that's the end of the quiz. I'm afraid you haven't won, but never mind, David, you win this lovely KYTV mug tree. And Gillian, you don't get to go away empty-handed either.
Oh.
No, because we'd like to take your desk and chair with you when you go.
Green show, all you need to know, yo.
Sir Anthony, is our food pumped full of additives?
Well, there's a lot of half-knowledge about food these days. I mean, take E-numbers, for instance. Now, I may not be an expert, but one thing I do know is that E is not a number.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, perhaps I could ask you about the health warning you put out on KYTV earlier this year.
Pregnant women should avoid eating...
This surely was a potentially disastrous piece of advice.
I don't think that was the whole sentence. I went on to say pregnant women should avoid eating certain types of food.
But a pregnant woman could quite easily be listening to the news in the safety of her home, be struck by a power cut in the middle of your warning, and never eat again. Are you prepared to accept that much blood on your hands?
Well, I'm sorry, but if people only listen to half...
Can I ask, do you watch what you eat?
Oh, yes, of course.
Why is that?
Well, I find it easier to get into my mouth that way.
Excuse me, sir, can I have a brief word?
Yes, sink.
Excuse me, madam. We're asking people if they're careful about what they eat. I was wondering if you knew, for example, what was actually in this harvest pie of yours.
sugar, saturated fat, additives, monosodium glutamate, colourings, gristle, and mechanically recovered meat, which basically means the scrapings from animals' bottoms.
Thank you.
Battery hens, horse-fed geese, harpooned whales, dead seals, fleece, rabbits with blusher and eyeshadow. We show them all on our green show.
Stop it. So, to wrap up then, what exactly are we talking about?
We're talking about the melting of the ice caps, flood, famine, and the end of all human life on Earth.
Yes, I wonder if I could broaden the issue out a bit from that. David.
Thank you, Mike. Coventry 3-0 up at half-time. All those goals come in the first half, incidentally.
Well, yes, perhaps we could broaden it out a bit more from that. And you'd like to tell us a bit about endangered animals, I believe.
Yes, Mike. Well, the rhino, of course, is hunted for his horn, which is widely regarded as an aphrodisiac.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't see how a man could stimulate me with a rhino horn. I can see how it might replace him.
I have here another wild and very rare creature which is currently facing extinction, the small wild marmot pig. Perhaps you'd like to hold him?
Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure apart from being poked in the eye with an electric cattle prod.
It's amazing to think that this beautiful creature is currently facing extinction.
Well, I'm not surprised. He's extremely smelly.
Now, the important thing to remember about the wild marmot pig is to pick him up around the waist and not by the tail.
So the wild marmot pig is dying out as we speak.
Yes, quite literally.
Well, tragic. Well, if I put the marmot pig to one side for a minute and his tail to the other, do you have any other endangered species with you?
Yes, I have a very rare breed of sheep, which is over on the other side of the studio.
He won't talk to me, Anna. He's not very clever, is he?
Sounds like the perfect definition of intelligence to me. Well, David, we're very short of time now, but I wonder if you could answer one quick question on the care of animals that one of our viewers has sent in.
Certainly.
Right. Well, she has an old English sheepdog, and ever since her father brought him 2 years ago, he's been smelling other dogs' private parts and making a nuisance of himself.
Well, this is perfectly normal behaviour, honestly. How old is he?
He is 65, retired last year.
Oh, I see. You're talking about her father?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And what did he do?
He was a Conservative Member of Parliament, apparently.
Well, as I say, this is perfectly normal behaviour.
Well, that just about wraps up our Green show. Don't forget, if you want to be part of our Save a Tree in 1990 campaign, we brought out this 500-page book, How to Save Trees. It's printed on the finest paper, bound in genuine leather, and each copy comes in its own mahogany presentation case.